Marv assembly complete.
Hey, what's up guys, Mask here, coming back to do another video commentary, and today I'm going to bring you guys a game from 1.0. So this is the base vanilla version of the game. This is when harvesters and refineries were cheaper compared to now. And I want to say first of all, I had plans to bring you guys VODs this week, but I couldn't because the games I casted was so bad that I just didn't want to post them. I actually casted a few 30 to 40 minute games, but those games were just, they involved pro players, don't get me wrong, the players like Dakul and Optic were good, but that game in particular that I casted was just Dakul unable to win the game on 3 bases versus 1 base. I'm not going to post a VOD where Dakul took 40 minutes to close the game despite eventually winning anyways. So yeah, we're getting into this game now. It's going to be between Artoo-Detoo and C.Caesar, and we're on the map Tournament Rift, which is a classic map, and over here on the left hand side we can see Artoo-Detoo playing as the red GDI, and over on the right we can see Caesar playing as the cyan steel talon. So yeah, cool name by the way, Artoo-Detoo. I can get behind that definitely, and he's gonna be down here gonna be drafting some rifles. Both of these guys knew that they were versus GDI, or a sub-faction of GDI, so it would be safe, or we know it's safe nowadays, to go for 2 engineers. Maybe not though, because remember those war factories come out a few seconds earlier, 10 seconds earlier actually, because refineries were $2,000 compared to the $3,000 which a refinery costs to build nowadays. So yeah, that APC, if he decides to build one, will be at that spike a lot sooner. So maybe going for second spike in this patch, not as risk-free as I made it out to be first of all. It looks like we've got a very Tiberium Wars-oriented build coming out of Caesar. He's going for a few APC engineers, potentially to take the bottom spikes. Spikes do give $25 per second, plus the initial spike capture bonus is actually $750 as well compared to $500. But yeah, this game is already heated up quite immensely, so quick. We have a Bloodhounds rush here for Artoo-Detoo, and if I recall correctly, the Bloodhounds were actually cheaper in this version, so this rush made much more sense back in the day. It was about 2,500 if I recall correctly. APC engineers down here, they're going to take these spikes. That's going to definitely help Caesar's economy if he loses these harvesters here. He doesn't have anything to really kill these pit bulls. Is he going to come across them now with this rifle squad? Is there orcas on the way? No, there's not. He's going for hammerheads instead. Hammerheads were a lot better as well because their movement speed was just far more than what we know of today, and people complain now about movement speed being super powerful. Technique being one of the guys who had a problem with that. But Harvester here going to get destroyed. Harvesters had way less HP, so I fully expect this to go down. This is one of the fundamental differences between Tiberium Wars and the base release of Kane's Wrath. But some economic damage being put on here by Artoo-Detoo. How is he doing as far as eco is concerned? He hasn't really recovered from this build. He is going to lose both of his spikes as well, so this is not a good start for Artoo-Detoo in this game. But he is going to get some harvesters here. Hammerheads I forgot about those. They're going to come around here. There's actually no anti-air right now. He needs to be focusing on these pit bulls. Pit bulls just streaming light into the base here. This could be really bad for Caesar. He's got nothing really to stop this. I reckon he probably should go for a tier 2 and drop a AA battery here. But yeah, one hammerhead goes down. They're going to be very hard to chase down with that movement speed, as I mentioned before. And these 3 harvesters here, not the best focus firing in the world actually. I reckon you could have easily got 1 or 2 more of these harvesters. Probably will go down here with this one hammerhead. Does have that rocket squad inside of it as well. AP ammo finishing as well. Not sure if that is going to be of much use. Managed to spare a harvester there. So Caesar going to sell both of those refineries. Of course you don't need refineries, or you don't need to retain them in this version because they're so inexpensive to produce. $2,000. When sold, you get that harvester, which in itself is worth $1,400 and $500 plus a rifle squad. So you're breaking even there pretty much by actually building refineries. Though it does occupy a build queue, so you can't just strictly build refineries because you need to be queuing tech structures and other things during that time. So not the greatest choice in the world. 3 spikes still have been retained by Caesar, so he's going to be getting $75 per second, which is quite a lot. Guardian Cannon coming down. Now, if you thought Guardian Cannons were bad in 1.02, I'll have you know that they actually were buffed in 1.02. Not sure what kind of buff EA put on them, but it was pretty minuscule because we had to buff them again, and you know, they still don't see any play. Harvester gets destroyed though, however, for Caesar, and that Guardian Cannon really couldn't really stop this counter attack. He's going to come in here, he's going to kill this Harvester, and how is he going to hold back this here? Is it going to be GG here and now? He's got 2 engineers down here. It looks like he's managed to secure the bunkers as well. So if he can get those spikes, then that is one way for him to recover his economy. Guardian Cannons, he's still trying to get those out. And I think the rate of fire of these Guardian Cannons was just a little less then compared to now. And how's he going to deal with these Pit Bulls? They're just going to be able to avoid these Guardian Cannons, take out any tech structures that they can find. And Caesar, he's got his economy established here. He needs to probably pack up his MCV. This game's probably not by any means a highly skilled game, but I expect it to be a very good one because I was in the Hall of Fame. So it doesn't have to be between pro players to, you know, reach Hall of Fame status. It just has to be a good game. But yeah, Titan coming out here. Those were bugged in that they could crush one another in this patch as well. I remember back in the day you could actually crush Titans with Titans, which is crazy. I reckon that bug still existed in the Xbox version though. Correct me if I'm wrong though, you Xbox players out there. Anyways, Pit Bulls gonna try and focus down this war factory just because there's no more harvesters to destroy. How is Artoo-Detoo gonna hold this back? He's gonna focus down all these Pit Bulls here. There's a number of them which are on that low HP at the moment. 1 shot away from death, and Titans do take a lot of experience to rank up in this patch because they needed the same XP as a Mammoth tank to rank up. So many bugs were fixed in 1.02 plus, experience bugs mostly, but he's going to hold this back. Has he got a refinery queued? No, he hasn't. He does, however, have these spikes captured, Artoo-Detoo right now. And Caesar, maybe he got a bit too overconfident. He didn't exactly make a move for the expansion, so that could be bad for him. However, it's going to be one hell of a comeback though for Artoo-Detoo if he can come back from this situation. He has literally nothing besides 1 Titan. Caesar can do anything at this point. He can go for infantry, but Artoo-Detoo still has that AP ammo upgrade, so maybe he'll be disincentivized from doing that, if that's even a word. More APC Pit Bulls being streamlined to the base. He needs to be microing a little better now. Those watchtowers with the AP ammo probably a little better at holding back these lightly armored units compared to the Guardian Cannons, but he's got his economy back out here to some extent. He's not doing too bad, all things considered. He does have those 3 spikes, remember? And but Caesar, he still has mass Pit Bull right now. He's going for more refineries, I presume, right now. Going to crawl to that expansion, which is a valid thing to do just because refineries are just so inexpensive then. He's got a few harvesters here. He could probably look to transfer them to this blue field, but perhaps that is not what he's thinking of right now. He needs to be micromanaging his economy. Okay, he's got more harvesters out on this field. Artoo-Detoo is not out of the woods just yet. He's still very much on the back foot. He's going to get another refinery out right now. He's on that 4 and 2 status. And no one bothered to go for that blue field just yet. And these spikes really do help, by the way, having 3 of them in your possession. Look, what Caesar can do is he can actually go ahead and take out these Tiberium spikes, you know, deny some of that income that he's allowing his opponent to get right now. He's going to go ahead though and target this power plant down, and you know, more refineries coming down here. Maybe he's going to look to build a Marv and Marvest this blue field, because Marvs did return the full value of the Tiberium when you Marvested it, so you could literally just build a Marv and not need to build a refinery ever. Okay, 2 APC engineers coming down here. I'm glad that he's identified that this is a threat. And freaking hell, that's a lot of damage that those AP ammo rifles are doing in those foxholes. Were APCs really as lightly armored as that before, or am I seeing things? Okay, can this rifle squad be shot through the bunker? Yes, it can, unfortunately. And he's focusing on this APC. That bug was so prevalent back then. I think it is still a thing nowadays, but not nearly as much as it was back then when CGF buffed the hitbox radius of the spike. I think that's what he done to amend it. However, you can't actually focus on an engineer when it's capping a spike nowadays. You have to actually focus, use the focus fire command, which is controlled by default. Otherwise, you can't kill it. It's pretty silly, I know, but that's how it is. Hammerheads being made right now for Artoo-Detoo. Very peculiar choice, considering how he's up against Mass Pitbull. But I don't know how he's going to recover from this game. I just don't see it happening, man. Maybe he's calling in the Bloodhounds once again. Those were cheap, very cost-effective units to build. He's up against Mass Predator Tank right now. He's being crawled right now. Airfields didn't provide ground radius, by the way, back then. That was only in Tiberium Wars in the early days. Mass Pitbull coming in. They're going to be taken out here. And he's got those hammerheads, which he can force these back. He's got some Titans here. He can probably build some silos if he comes under siege from those, you know, block some of that fire. And I can tell this game is not necessarily a super highly skilled game. Looks like Caesar's going all in for this MCV. This could be catastrophic for him if he doesn't kill this, though. He's probably going to get his Predator tanks crushed right now. Okay, he's going to go back. Was that even fenced, the MCV? Could have been fenced. That's how it was able to absorb so much damage, but yeah, hammerheads here. He's got one out on the field. You can probably use that to do a poke in here, see what's going on. Artoo-Detoo, meanwhile, has gone for an expansion to the bottom field. Caesar needs to change his strategy up a little bit here. He needs to build some IEA batteries. He's probably in range of this here. He maybe even crawl with sonic emitters and, you know, just take this MCV out here. He has the war factory though to recover. The MCV trying desperately to get an engineer out here, but he has hammerheads right now. Caesar, if he's looking at this, he should be able to kill these engineers. He cancels whatever he had building there. I presume it was an engineer, and those are actually Artoo-Detoo's hammerheads. He's coming in with the hammerheads. He needs to kill the engineer. Oh my god, he doesn't kill the engineer. And Bloodhound reinforcements being called in. This was such a common thing to do back in the day. Armory coming down, sonic emitter coming down. He has one MCV though. He hasn't bothered to go for the other field. He's long leeching it right now. Railguns being researched for Artoo-Detoo. He's going to be doing some major damage here. He is steel talent, so you can use that railgun accelerator, which does work on the Guardian cannons, by the way. And Firehawks coming out in here as well for Caesar. He really needs to be focusing on his economy right now. He needs to go for that blue field. He's taking it right now. Oh my god, this is exactly what he needs to be doing, but a lot earlier in the game. So this is still really bad for Artoo-Detoo. I don't know how he's going to do it, to be honest, man. One Marv out in the field for either guy, and I reckon it's going to be GG. Potentially even game changing for Artoo-Detoo if he manages to get a Reclamator hub right now. He's going to focus down this tech lab. Unfortunately wasn't able to fence it. Poor placement as well. He's going to refinery block that though, however, so that's pretty good. But this Mav tank should be able to readily deal with this. By the way, pumping out Mav tanks right now. Once he loses that tech though, he's going to have difficulty dealing with these high tier units. He's focusing on the refinery. That tech lab is shots away from dying. He's not going to go for it though. He's got 3 Mav tanks out right now. How is Caesar going to deal with this? He's managed to harvest all this tip. He's got an outpost down here. More eco. But looks like Artoo-Detoo, he's been under siege this whole time, so he hasn't had the income or time to really build refineries on his expansion. He's going to take out these sonic emitters here. He needs to micro his Mav tanks back to the war factory. Maybe even consider getting a rig out though. He is up against Firehawks, 2 of which are on probably anti-air loadout right now, I'd imagine. Air's not going to be an option for him. And he's going to be forced back here, so this Mav tank going to get some work done on this field. Artoo-Detoo probably would want to, I mean, Caesar would probably want to consider an infantry transition right now, because there is simply no anti-infantry units out on the field. He's got a space command uplink down, which is a curious choice. I would have personally gone for a Marv, but the Marv is going to be less and less relevant as more of the Tiberium on the map is harvested. Still 3 spikes though on the field for Artoo-Detoo, so if he is cost effective, you know, for a longer, then he's going to be doing pretty fine here. He's not going to have railguns. In fact, yeah, he is, because he's GDI. He should probably get that right now, but he's not going to have it in the immediate future, because remember, he did lose his tech center a little earlier. Mav tank gets destroyed, and he's got 2 more out on the field right now, building up a wall of Guardian cannons right now. If I were Caesar, I'd definitely not engage into that. That's a terrible idea. He needs to be reversing out of there. I'm not sure what he's doing. He's also taking splash damage. Units overlapping will take splash damage. What's he got over here? He's going for more eco, and He's going to sit back here. I mean, he could probably sneak in through the back, kill some of this infrastructure here, because he has Firehawks to deal with the only opposition to these Preds, which is the Hammerheads. Does he have a tech right now? He's got his tech lab up. He's going for more Firehawks, I think. What's his next move though? He's still going for Predator tanks. He's not going for Mammoth tanks. He's going to take out these Mammoths right here though. He's simply outnumbered. Those are going to go down. And really, I mean, I don't think he has enough to stop this. He's got 2 guarding cannons, which he can use the RGA on, which, I mean, if he manages to get this Mammoth tank in range of them, probably a decent RGA on those units. And wow, those railguns doing some pretty sick damage here, but he's not reversing his Mammoth tank to try and kite these units. He's not doing that right now. Guarding cannon actually coming into the base. Was that an APC engineer? No, he must have moved his MCV in here. And looks like an engineer was ready to capture that, but he used the sonic repulsion field in time before that happened. Titans out in the field here. They're going to be a nuisance. They can crush harvesters. He's going to go in for the crush right now. And what was that being captured? That was something being captured. He's got a sonic emitter here though, however, to defend. So I mean, he also has the MCV up here as well, so he can build those sonic emitters. He still has his tech right now. He's microing his harvesters back. Railgun Predator tanks getting taken out by guarding cannons, not something you see every day. I think that C.Caesar though is a bit preoccupied on this fight right now. He's going to try and take this out. He's going to try and take the MCV. Oh my god, he takes the MCV. Wow. That will give him the ability to drop 2 sonic emitters, though probably not, because that's a Steel Talon MCV as far as I know. Can you actually build sonic emitters from Steel Talon's MCVs? No, what am I thinking? Of course you can. It's only GDI and Zircon ones you can. Predator tanks, he needs to consider a transition from this. It's not working out for him. He needs to go for heavier tier units. Maybe go for more Firehawks is the right way to go. Bomb the infrastructure. Some of these structures are so close together. Bombing between both of them would destroy both buildings, but this game is obviously not a pro game. While he's here, Caesar could probably take out these Tibrim spikes, you know. He's not doing that though. He's going to go straight into this expansion here, which is really exposed. And did he bother to sell this MCV that he reclaimed? No, he has moved it to the expansion here, though not going to be necessary to place a ref there. These harvesters will be easily able to take those out. Orcas coming in. They're going to take out more of the economy. Hammerhead's trying to lay waste to this base. He's got a harvester there, only one. Tib field, there's almost no tib on this field or on this map, so he needs to consider taking these spikes right now. Caesar, sooner or later, the spikes are going to be the only source of income on the map, and whoever has control of them will be enjoying a nice advantage. By the way, down here we have a counterattack for Caesar. He's going to get his units taken out though, where all the harvesters destroyed. No, they were pulled back all the way to the top of the map. And finally, railguns that comes online for Caesar. And what's his next move here? He's going for Firehawks. He's got one out in the field, a mix of Firehawks and Orcas. Interesting combo. He's going to decide to push back. I reckon he could have gone in there. There's actually a lot of exposed places on this map that he's not really exploiting. He doesn't have really much to contend with. He's up against one Mammoth tank. It would be foolish of him to engage in a heavily defended area. It would be wiser to, you know, just bypass those defenses. Go in here. This is where all of Artoo-Detoo's infrastructure is located. And I'm not sure why he's not doing that. MCV being deployed right now down here. He will be probably dropping a war factory there or something. Maybe a Marv, you know, just Marvis this Tiberium field. Because as I said before, you do get the full value for harvesting Tiberium with the Marv. Tungsten shells does come online though for Artoo-Detoo, not quite being able to kill that heavy harvester. Heavy harvesters do have 10% more HP compared to regular GDI ones, so that's one thing that Steel Talons have going for them. Though, of course, as it is the case in 1.02, Steel Talon harvesters do harvest a little slower compared to GDI ones. Not by much, but it is noticeable in the very early game at least. Veteran Firehawk here for Caesar. And what's his next move right now? What is he going to do? He's going to harvest this Tiberium here right now. This Mav tank will try and stop him from doing so. He's going for a refinery, but he known all along that this field was defended by Mav. He doesn't have enough to hold this back. I guess he will have now with the Sonic Emitter drop. That's going to go down. He's going to take this income. I heard a Marv come out. Okay, that's going to be Artoo-Detoo's Marv. He's going to put some rocket inside of it. It's not going to be the greatest Marv in the world because it is a Steel Talon's Marv. And he's going to be denied from harvesting this Tiberium field right now. And Predator tanks actually bypassing the base. There's going to be no Sonic emitter defense for the Steel Town player, so it's going to be hard to deal with those. I really don't know how he's going to hold those back. His Marv is going out, moving out. He's got a couple of Marv tanks and a Marv. Nothing to really support them, but Artoo-Detoo, he's going for Sonics. I think it's foolish trying to hold this area back. That's going to be too much firepower for him to deal with. And this is something you don't see nowadays. I do reckon though that they're better than people give them credit for, guarding cannons nowadays anyways, because the rate of fire is a little more compared to now. And those Marv tanks and Marv going to make their move across the map, and let's see how much tip this Marv can harvest per crystal. It's getting $350 per crystal. So someone do the maths in the comments. Is it $350 per crystal when you harvest it with a regular harvester, or did I get that wrong and the Marv did return a little less still compared to now, or the regular harvester when it harvests that crystal? Nevertheless, $350 per crystal, that's like the equivalent of harvesting a blue tip crystal now with the Marv, which is a lot. Predator tank's going to waste this base right now, and he does have build radius down here, so Caesar can deploy those AA batteries. He can get his Predator tanks in range down here. He's going to lose his base. Does he have an insurance policy though, however, because he is going to probably lose this base right now sooner or later. Predator tanks are slowly getting chewed away though by that single hammerhead, which has now gone at elite, potentially going to go heroic after killing those tanks. Marv down here, doesn't look like Caesar has anything to deal with it. He needs to go for infantry right now. He's going for a Marv of his own. He's going for more Titans, but right now I think it may be wiser of him to just ignore the Marv, go for Artoo-Detoo's base, and can expect this to go heroic any moment. Rocket Squad does go heroic, unfortunately, not getting the last rocket done on that. He hasn't got an airfield to repair this hammerhead, so he would probably be looking to get it to heroic, you know, as soon as possible, just so it can heal itself back up to full. 3 rockets inside of that Marv should be able to dispose of this Orca. Not sure if it's 3 rocket garrisons in the Marv that can one-shot the Orcas, but yeah, that's going to be very hard to cope with. Firehawk here going to get donated, unfortunately. Poor micro by Caesar. He's trying to get his Marv out right now, but he's stalled for funds. He needs to capture these spikes as well. By the way, Artoo-Detoo, he's not spending his income. He doesn't have... He needs to be building some units right now. He's got his railgun, so he can probably spam out a bunch of Titans. He can just spam Titans for days. He's got triple war factory. He can go for infantry as well. And, you know, but he is... The one thing that you can say for Artoo-Detoo is that he is up against 3 bases versus, you know, technically 2. Though this one's kind of getting camped. Actually, no, he's got a Marv tank here, which will be denying this income for Caesar. More Titans coming out here. And that Marv going to escape with just a handful of hit points remaining. He's got tungsten as well, so those Orcas are going to be not the right idea in dealing with this. He does have 1 engineer inside the Marv as well. Oh, Titan here, nicely timed Titan. Those will be able to crush those harvesters. Not sure if Caesar can make something happen here. He's got a Marv in the base. He will be able to destroy this base unless he gets a few behemoths out. He does have the ability now to get those behemoths out. He's going to be receiving more income from those spikes. I noticed, you know, a little earlier that he was actually needing silos, which is never a good thing to see, especially when you have production structures. He needs to get some more harvesters out as well to deal with this, to harvest this type of infield, but it looks like they're all harvesting this field here. Is this Marv going to get destroyed right now? He's trying to aim it down with the Marv tank, which will be destroyed, and now it is Artoo-Detoo that has to deal with this Marv right now. How is he going to deal with this? He's Caesar could probably stop to put triple engineer in this Marv or something. It's not nearly as potent as it could be in this game, and as I mentioned before, he really needs to take these spikes over. He must have forgotten about it this game, but yeah, a rig out even on the field for Artoo-Detoo. Maybe he was built that specifically to repair the Marv. Rigs do repair vehicles slightly faster than the war factories do, so if you are GDI and you have a Marv, just build a rig, man. It repairs a lot faster. And down here, I mean, this should inform him now of what the situation is. He needs to capture these spikes. He needs to move his MCV 2 here. He's managed to de-garrison those bunkers as well, so you know, that'll be a much needed boost to Caesar's income if he can just do that. But Yeah, neither side right now seems to not know what's going on. Can't blame them. It's been a very back and forth game, needless to say. Even with the failed MCV move from Artoo-Detoo. But he's still in this game. He's going to lose his tech now, but which means there's going to be no more Juggernauts in the way, or Behemoths in this case. I'm going to see just how much money he's floating. He actually has no income. Okay, then. So, wasn't nearly as good of a situation as I thought it would be for Artoo-Detoo. He's going to be up against hammerheads here, but those Mav tanks should provide ample anti-air. He's not bothering to build anything, any units right now. He needs to be moving his MCV. He's not going to go up and try and face these units. Artoo-Detoo going to find himself to be in a similar situation as Caesar was in a little earlier, though he doesn't have nearly enough base to really win a base trade. So he's going to move out with his MCV. He's going to probably drop down a refinery here. It's going to take him 20 seconds to do so. Marv out in the way for Artoo-Detoo. He's going to lose all of his base though right now, so that's going to get destroyed. And what is Caesar's next move in this game? What is he going to build? He's going to lose one of his MCVs. This is his GDI MCV, which means no more sonic emitters for him, which is pretty bad. And no garrison side of this Marv, unfortunately, for Artoo-Detoo. And yeah, I'm not sure what the Marv's doing right now. He needs to be going into the base. He needs to be destroying this base. He's only up against one MCV at the moment. MCV's on the run. He's only remembered about it now. Spike's going to get destroyed, and the spikes down here have been reclaimed by Caesar. So that's one thing going for him. It's certainly going to help him in the long run here. He's the only one with the economy, but it looks like he's forgot about his harvesters down here. He's too busy micromanaging elsewhere. He's going to destroy this refinery up here. He's forgot about his harvesters still. He's got only a handful of harvesters, but you know, that's better off. He's better off than Artoo-Detoo is right now, who's going to lose both of his harvesters here. He doesn't have any refinery to dock them in, so they're going to get destroyed. Marv could quickly probably harvest this field here, but you know, I'd say it's probably more worthwhile destroying these production structures, limiting Artoo-Detoo to just that single MCV. MCV has found its way up in the top of the corner of the map, and these harvesters still not harvesting here. And that MCV, has he got a tier 2 to deal with these hammerheads? Just build a AA battery or something to deal with those. He's not doing that though. And production structure is getting destroyed right now. Looks like either side have a rig to accompany their epic unit. Similar situation for both players, but the hammerheads are definitely going to be more of an asset to Artoo-Detoo. He doesn't have nearly the base though, however. He's going to take out this tech here, which is going to be bad for Caesar. He's getting Mav tanks out though. He's got a handful of them. Mav tanks do have AA the ability to shoot at air, so there's always that. Titan's getting picked off. His MCV going to make a run for it once again. Mav tanks enclosing onto that MCV. That could be GG if he takes that out, but I'm not sure if he is got anything to really spot for where the MCV could be. He doesn't have any air like Artoo-Detoo has. He's going to reinforce his MCV with Mav tanks here. He's coming in with the Mav. He has 2 Mavs versus a Mav and a Mav from 3 Titans. Not sure if that's going to be enough. Hammerheads here engaging into the Mav tanks. That's a terrible idea. And he needs to probably be defending his base, prioritizing his base more than actually hunting the enemy's MCV down. You know that the MCV is out there and there's no refinery, so he needs to be defending his base. He does have a sizable base though. You could probably start healing this MCV as well, just in case it turns out to be more of a worse engagement than he originally anticipated. He's probably want to move these back as well. I'm not sure what he's doing, but those AA, that AA is pretty good actually from the Mav tanks. I didn't expect it to be that good. He's in trouble right now. He's going to move his MCV. Why did he get another MCV out? I guess 2 MCVs is better than 1, eh? He's going to get that out, and he's going to move up to the top. Marv right now is going to try and hunt down this MCV. Where's the MCV of Artoo-Detoo? Has he made a run for it to the other side of the map? He's got a rifle squad up here, so he will know if the MCV does sneak through there. Marv right now going to get some much needed Tiberium. He is unable to get those spikes. Artoo-Detoo has no Tiberium, no income right now. This is his only army. This is his standing army right now. He needs to win this game with this army. And this here is going to come across this base. Where's the enemy Marv? It's going to be over here. The power plant up there. MCV trying to make a run for it. There's nothing really to kill that. He should probably go for maybe Orcas or something. Hammerheads. He does have AP ammo. Artoo or Caesar. Did he even bother to get AP ammo this game? I guess not. So Hammerheads are not going to be a quick response to this situation. Marv going to get some repairs meanwhile. And what is Caesar's plan now? Is he going to go for mass infantry? I reckon that's probably his best move here. The Marv doesn't have any ability to throw in garrison side of it, so it's not going to be nearly as good as he thinks. Going to get a zone trooper out of there. He could have sold that Reclamator Hub just before it died for that full zone rate trooper squad, but not to be. And the MCV going to still make a run for it here. The power plant is in the top of the map. That's still alive, and he shouldn't lose this game. He's got his MCV out here. He's got production still. 2 buildings actually. Whatever he has built here, he should drop it. I don't know what that was. It's going to be a war factory. He's going to get some Titans out, or in his case some Predator tanks to deal with this Marv. He's going for Hammerheads here as well. Orcas would be a better choice though, because of the lack of anti-air. He does have the rig for anti-air support, which does have a missile launcher on it, which is pathetic. I've been experimenting a lot with rigs lately, and that is a really bad form of anti-air, by the way. And the Orcas coming in here. You can probably destroy that rig. It probably can't deploy there because of that Tiberium Geyser or whatever it's called. But what do we have here? The MCV has been found. Oh my god. Oh my god. He lost the MCV, but he forgot about the barracks. He actually gets the Tiberium spikes back as well. That should inform that there is a barracks there, because he had previously no infantry. So if Caesar's paying attention, and if he's thinking, he should know there is going to be a barracks in the field. Rocket squad's coming out here. By the way, the Mav tanks have come across this barracks. That's going to get taken out here. But that power plant is far away from danger. His 4 Orcas could go up and destroy that power plant, but he has no idea that it's there. In fact, he should have known that it was there, because his Mav tanks were up there a little earlier. His airfield here going to be camped. He's got eco up here. His harvester going back to base. He needs to be fixing his harvesters. He needs to probably not focus the Marv down, because that's going to get repairs. Titan's trying to respond to this. He's going to destroy the Marv right now, I reckon. Marv tank is full HP. That's going to get destroyed. The rig here needs to deploy. He needs to get some repairs to this Marv. This is so intense right now. He's probably could sell one of these refineries off. But what do we have over here? Orca's getting some more repairs right now. Marv tank's taking out Artoo-Detoo's spikes, and this is going to be GG, I think. Is Artoo-Detoo really going to come through with a win here? Or Caesar? It looks like it's going to be Caesar's game to lose. But I don't see how Artoo-Detoo can do it. He has nothing really to kill this army. That's going to be GG, I think. So, nice effort though, regardless. I was expecting it to be game over for Caesar at one point. But seriously though, such a back and forth game. He's going to come across this power plant here, and that's going to be GG. So, yeah, I never knew who would win until the very last moment. I could have guessed it would have been Artoo-Detoo throughout the game. At the beginning, it was Caesar's game to lose. He should have gone for an eco a lot earlier, but he didn't. But nevertheless, that's going to be a Hall of Game for you guys. And a Hall of Fame game. And look at that eco difference, though, between the two players. It was so wasteful of Caesar. He should have just micro a little better. There was so many things you could criticize both players for on, but this is one of the first games that made it to the Hall of Fame, I presume, in Kane's Wrath. And as you saw, it wasn't pro players, but it didn't need to be somewhat mildly entertaining for you all to watch. But yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed this VOD, and despite the outcome, the GDI player will go through, and I was rooting for Artoo-Detoo to win because it was, you know, Caesar's game from the beginning, but it is what it is. And yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this VOD. Stay tuned, because I'll be bringing a Christmas special to you. So with all that said, this is Master Leaf. Peace out.